welcome to All or Nothing, Season 1, Episode 2. And tonight we have a very interesting show, I think a topic that is very important for, as they say, the modern man or woman, because this topic always seems to ruffle some feathers. The word seems to make people twist in their seat, and it could be quite bothersome. So tonight we have two great guests on the show joining us. And we have the creator of the show, Viv.
Hello,
What's
hello,
up?
hello. Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Not much. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
Is you ready?
Yeah, you know I can run my mouth, so I'm ready.
So
I'm ready.
tonight's topic, Viv, is submission.
Submission. Yep. Good old submission.
That could be a worrisome word for some people.
It absolutely can be. It can be. And just to clarify, tonight we are not talking about BDSM. Maybe one night we will get into subs and doms. But tonight I want to clarify.
Some people, they hear submission, they be like, look, I'm not into no handcuffs. I don't want to be tied up.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, I'm in the handcuffs. I like being tied down, but that's not what we're talking about tonight.
Oh,
like she said, later topic.
Later topic, yes. But tonight we're talking about submission as it relates to relationships, partnerships, marriage, in the context of men and women. Primarily this belief that women should submit to men. So that is what we're talking about tonight. Yeah. So let me introduce these two beautiful men I have here. Very excited for y'all to be here. So first we have Mo, Mr. Moses Santil. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yeah, I know we're doing a full government, but
I'm so sorry.
Put you out there.
I'll go with the names on the screen. We got Mo. Mo
That's
is
all right.
I know him as actor, also bodybuilder. I met him on the set of The Last Bet. I think is when we first met, correct? We were at Love Studio, we were filming. And I mentioned bodybuilder because Love had the brilliant idea of having him pick me up because he played a security guard in the scene. I was being kicked out of the club. And so I was like, Mo, I'm like, do you squat, sir? I was like, because I'm thickety thick. Like, don't drop me and don't hurt your back, right? And so I was like, do you squat? Do you deadlift? And he's like, I got you. And he did have me, indeed. So, Mo, welcome. With ease.
Appreciate
I'm thankful to have you here. Do you want to introduce something
you.
about yourself? Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Oh, no, you said it all. It all sounded good.
Okay.
Part-time model too. Throw that in there.
All right, part-time model. I love it. And up there we have Jay. Jay, I'm going to say, is a wonderful lyricist. And also, we went to high school together, so we have been familiar with each other for, we won't age ourselves, but a long time. It's been a long time since we graduated. Yes. Jay, is there anything else you would like to say about yourself?
No, I'm just thankful to be invited to this platform and this today's topic, and hopefully we all just enjoy each other's time and company. And I look forward to learning something today.
Awesome. Right on.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome. A friend of Viv's is a friend of the shows, and like I told you guys behind the scenes, it's very. We just conversating. We're just having. It's like having back in the day, a 4-way call, and we all on a call, and we just happen to be online. That's all it is. It's nothing super special about it. So Viv,
yeah,
what made you decide that this would be our topic of this illustrious day?
I love this topic. It's a topic that triggers me, if I'm being honest. It's a word that sets me off real quick, right? But I love the topic because I think it's an important conversation to have, because I think some people tend to be quick. Some men tend to be quick to be like, yeah, of course, a woman should submit to a man, etc. And I just don't feel like sometimes that we don't really back that up with regard to like what the actual reasoning is. And there's some women who subscribe to that as well. More power to you, sis. I'm not one of those. So yeah, I think it's a great topic, and it's an important topic to have, a discussion about.
Well, you know, jumped out the window. You said more power to you, sis. You don't agree?
Say it again.
You don't agree about submission?
Absolutely not. I hate the word. I hate the word. I think we need to get. Why are you're just trying to start shit? But okay, I hate the word. I think
Set
that
it
we need to
off.
get rid of the word. So first, let me start with the definition of submission, right?
Good,
And let's
that's
go
good.
from there. So, the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. So, that right there is that, let's just start that conversation, right? So when we're talking about submitting, we're yielding to the will of another, and we're yielding to someone who is supposed to be seen as in a position of authority. So to me, when we're talking about relationships, I'm all for a partnership. I don't think that my man, my mate is an authority figure to me. So I don't, and with that definition, I have to ask men, and I want y'all's feedback on this. Why do you want to be seen as an authority figure when it comes to your woman or your partner?
I don't think it's more so like an authority figure. I think it's more so like if if your husband is the king, right, and you're the queen,
Okay.
now who runs the castle, a king or a queen?
King.
I'm asking you a question.
In the
Okay,
essence of his right, in the essence of
Yes,
his
and
example.
yes, a
Right.
king.
so a king, right?
Okay.
Now, if you call your husband your king, do you not like want to follow your king and his decisions?
His leadership, his
If you
protection.
want, if you want your king to protect and provide,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
So wouldn't isn't that in a sense you're submitting to him by allowing him to do that for you?
Okay. So I hear what you're saying. I think my
Uh, Go ahead.
no. I do hear what you're saying. I think my thing is this. Like, I don't really, if I'm being honest, I don't know that let's we're gonna separate it out real quick. I'm gonna put protection to the side for a second. I
All
don't
right.
necessarily approach a man from the perspective of like I expect him to solely provide. So I think the thing for me is and even with the protection, I get like physically he might be right stronger or whatever.
Should be.
Should okay, cool. But like even in that context, like I'm a protect my man too. Like I get it, it looks different, but like I think that's the thing. Like I'm willing to show up in the same way. So
Hmm.
I don't what am I why do I need to submit? I don't look at it that way. Like I'm showing up in the same way that he is. That's my intention in a partnership. So
I
what
think
am
that
I submitting to?
no, I'll wait. Jay, go ahead. You go, Jay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of letting it fizzle out. I like Mo's example. I agree with it to an extent. I think when I hear submission, because I'm a words guy, as Viv said, so I like to, you know, choose my words carefully. I think when I hear submission, I hear service, but not in a sense of, like a servant, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
in a negative connotation. Like I hear a lot of what Mo said, me walking in my essence as a man, as a king in nature. Um, again, we got to put perspective and context to this. Are we talking about submission in the eyes of religion? Are we talking about submission in a hierarchy sense? Like a caste system type thing? An expectation of some old way of life or culture that because I do realize times have changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have
Yeah.
all kind of movements that have given empowerment to women to have these kind of takes that Viv have.
Mm-hmm.
And we as men, we should also lend our ear and try to understand it. But I'm kind of old school, I'm kind of, I want to protect my lady.
Hmm.
I want to know that there's some things she can do for me from a nurturing standpoint that I may not be able to do solely by myself.
Mm-hmm.
That requires a little bit of submission. That requires a little bit of, maybe give or take here and there. But as Viv said, I can also see an equality somewhere in there in that submission. It's just about what you make it. I don't want to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. You know what I mean? That's
I
just
think
kind of like me getting
for
into
me
it.
that word scares people,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's one of the points that Viv may be making. because it definitely scares. I would say the last 40, 50-year generation of
Sure.
women,
Sure.
because I'm first and foremost, I believe in the nuclear family. I am a strong proponent of the nuclear family. I'm a strong proponent of the patriarch. So these
Okay.
are very, very. The word submission is very precious to me.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
In saying that, I do believe in what, as we would say, old-fashioned values as a man: protect, provide, and take care of. And that is even submission in so many words. You have to
So many
submit
words.
to your kids, submit to, for me, submit to your family. You got to make certain sacrifices. Like Jay said, I think sometimes we have it's the words and how we use the words that could be bothersome or
Yes.
could be good for us in the context of what we're doing.
The context, how we
I think that
understand it.
most of us, we come from, or even if we did come from a broken home, I think most people always wanted the nuclear family. I think most people always wanted that two-parent home. Nowadays, it may be, something else, but still you need two people in the two adults in the home to guide, I think would be a better word.
That would be ideal. That would
I,
be
I,
ideal.
I think that the word, it scares people so much, but the reality is, and this is just from experience, women submit to dudes all the time. They just might submit to the wrong dude. And this is where
Facts.
the buyer remorse comes in at. Because from
I mean, we could.
experience, females submit to the wrong dude, invest everything in this dude, wait on this dude hand and foot, and excuse the expression, he shits on her.
But let's not even make it complicated, right? Like, let's just take it from a biological standpoint, from what body parts we have. Women have a vaginal orifice
Canal. Hmm.
that receives a phallus.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea of that is submission, right? You would think in the most purest form you have to lay down on your back and have love made to you, sexual romance, whatever you want to say, and that male is dominant in that instance. And you would think
So
if
we
you're
hope.
going to go as far as but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Things have
yeah.
changed so much. We can't even say certain genders and stuff like that. But I'm just taking it from the
Hmm.
basic understanding. We're all probably in the same age group here. So it's like, yeah, to Q's point, yeah, two-parent household, male, female, man, woman, child, right? Child derives from that act,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
There was some level of submission that had to occur. 40, 50 years ago, the women of our time understood that. Maybe even 40, 50 years prior to that, the same mindset. Somewhere a revolutionary period took place. Men were not involved in the home as much. Let's just put that out there. Women had to do for their home by themselves or with very minimum resources and assistance. And now the charge has taken. So now it's like, hey, we don't need you guys.
Mm.
We can do this. We're empowered, you know. We're making a way for ourselves. Some of you guys have heard us anyway. So we're done with all of that yesteryear's talk about, bowing down to our king, so to speak. So I get it. We have some men, most of us fumbled the ball. I get it.
Hmm.
On the 1 yard line, right, so to speak. And didn't win the hearts over of said queen or, women of our lives. So we do go around this carousel around and around trying
Yeah.
to win each other over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like with them doing that, I feel
Just in a
like,
biological sense, there's submission.
uh-huh. I mean, it might be a whole another topic, but I feel like even in that sense of what you just said, I think it kind of backfired. Now, I say that to say, like, now you see more and more women saying, "Oh, I want a soft girl life, and I want this and the
Yeah,
third."
that. I
It's
don't
like,
even know what
no,
that is.
like you put forth all this masculine energy, and then
Yes.
now you realize that this shit is whack. So now you want to be submissive and try to find somebody just who wants to who
Heavy.
who for you to submit to,
Mhm.
And then, but at the same time, like now I feel like dudes are stepping their standard up too. Like, nah, like I'm good. Like you have baggage
Like
now.
the goalpost keeps getting moved. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like this is not
Yeah,
working, and we're supposed to
right.
just be
So, like
okay with it,
I always say, like they want like they want like 50 years ago love in 2024. Like it's not gonna happen. Like times evolve. Like we're in a time now where you'll find a woman who makes way more than a guy do,
Mhm.
you know, but still she doesn't want to work. She wants this quote unquote soft girl life,
Mhm.
you know. So
double
like, you
standard,
know,
right? It's like I still want to
exactly.
be treated as such, but I'm not submitting to you.
Right,
You know what I mean? I might not even agree with most of what you say, but you better treat me a
right,
certain way. It's like,
right.
okay.
Not for nothing.
So go
You
ahead,
find a
Mo.
lot of women you can find a lot of women, you know, older and lonely. Like, damn, I should have just shut the hell up 20 years ago. Now look at me. I got no kids, no boyfriend,
Oh,
no
Mo.
nothing.
No, but Viv, I want to hear your
A
point
sugar
on why
mama.
you feel that way. I really do, because I
So I
really want to
mean,
walk away understanding why that is your mindset.
Right.
so okay. Slow the energy down. Right. No.
Not to seem so aggressive, but I'm
No.
because I hear this all the time, not just
Yeah.
with you. There's a lot of women that feel this way.
Yeah,
So
we have a question. I'm gonna
okay.
Viv. I'm gonna put this question to Mo.
Okay. Okay.
I think most women just don't like the
Yeah.
label submission, but are willing to be led, but also be considered an equal.
Okay.
So it's the word game we're playing. Okay.
I think the word submission should be traded out with the word traditional.
Okay.
Because submission, like it does sound like very like slave like to me.
Well, we
Like,
read the definition. You are
yeah, like
acquiescing to authority. Yeah.
yeah,
As
and
she
like
should.
I think
Don't give this Q.
I think traditional is a better word. Like I'm Haitian, so like there's like cultural traditions that like
Mhm.
you know, like a Haitian woman is going to submit to their man, to their husband, like despite whatever. Like he has the final say so.
It's funny that you said that, Mo. I'm gonna bring something up later.
All right.
I could bring it up now. I have a very good friend who's Haitian, and he can't date no woman that can't cook rice.
That's a fact, yeah. That's a deal breaker. Deal breaker.
That was a deal
Okay,
breaker.
Viv, my friend Tariq said, "Let the sister talk."
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Let Viv get in there.
So I guess my issue is I believe that in a relationship at some point we all acquiesce. It's like a dance, right? So I guess my thing is why I don't feel that as a grown woman who is an intelligent woman, I need to be led by a man. That's not what I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for a partnership. So in the same way that I bring something to the table, I'm a leader. Like straight up, I own that. I'm a woman who is a leader, period. So I don't need to be always like blanketly led is all I'm saying. So are there going to be times when he has expertise in something and I will acquiesce to him and let him lead? Absolutely. But are there times when I have expertise in something and he needs to fall back? Absolutely. And that should be okay. I don't know. That's my
Viv,
thought.
I truly believe that knowing you, right? Knowing you and you being so educated, that English and them words are the bothersome. I think when people see led, I don't think most people interpret it a bad way, so to say. A woman runs her home. You can ask any patriotic man, they'll tell you, yeah, I may have bought the house, whoever bought the house, but a woman runs the house. She's in charge of the house. He might have a little space in the house, a little clubhouse, but she's in charge of the house. And I think that's the tradition that us three gentlemen might have came from, or this is what we assume. Like I don't think it's a problem with a woman running the house. I think every woman should run the house. That's what they do.
To Mo's point, I like what he said. He expressed his culture where he's from, and that's the point I made earlier. Traditionally, in certain parts of the world, this is not a conversation.
Exactly.
Right.
It's only in the Western Hemisphere in America, as we all are currently, that this is being discussed.
Too much freedom. Just kidding.
Well, for the most part. And,
But back.
Good.
No, I was saying, like,
even then, I was in business, right? And I used to work at furniture, and I was telling somebody this the other day, which is interesting. And majority of the people, if you know about North Jersey, y'all know, you got a lot of big Haitian community in East Orange. So a lot of the women that would come in there would buy furniture from us. Mm-hmm. Women come in there, they point the furniture out, they call you boss man, you get the furniture, and they'll tell you, I run the show, my husband gonna come and pay for it and make sure y'all deliver it on this day. So for me, I've seen that dynamic where, yes, she was quote unquote in charge, but when it was time to defer,
when she tried,
she deferred.
There you go. She
deferred
to the leader.
Let's start. Okay. Let's talk about that though. But that's my thing though. Why is there why is he the leader? And I'm genuinely asking. Like, that is the only thing I don't get. I'm all for, again, I keep going back to the word partnership, but like, why do I need to defer to him any more than he needs to defer to me? That's really my only question. Like, at the end of the day, if we're two adults in a relationship, then we both need to be talking and making decisions, right? And I do understand that most respectful men are like, I respect my wife's opinion. Like, it's not like shut up and go sit down somewhere. But like, why would I defer to him to make the final decision? Genuine question. I don't get it.
I mean, I would think that you would not want to rock the boat, because I would think
Have you met me?
No, but that's
I'm
just
a boat
not
rocker. Like, what?
But Viv, I don't think that's for just you. I think that's with him too. I think that for a man, most men won't make decisions. Definitely, if he honors, respects, and loves his family, he's not going to make certain decisions unless he consults with his wife. Now, he may want to make a decision, but he might pick around it. Well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or he'll stand pat and won't say nothing and let her just basically run the show.
Okay.
I think, Viv, from your take, I would like to see how that plays out. Like, you say you are
pro partnership, equality, no leadership. No, how does that even look? Because here's an analogy, right? Okay. If I get in your car, one of us is able to drive, right? What's the other person doing?
They're the passenger.
They're going along for the ride. So I'm not gonna be in your car, with a grievance like, I wish I was driving. Someone has to drive. Someone has to ride along. We can take turns, but ideally, I think it's a traditional thing. That's where the leadership comes from. It's set up to be that way. We don't make the rules.
And I hear you.
We grow to understand it, right? And
I hear you. I mean, I think your car analogy is a good example. I'm not saying that both people can have their hands on the wheel at the same time all the time. I get that, right? All I'm saying is, one day you drive, one day I drive. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not in disagreement with that. Now that's where I've learned, because I grew out of my old way of thinking.
Yeah.
But I still hold on to some traditional values.
Okay.
I think where the conversation gets confusing for me, not necessarily with you, is when certain women won't even entertain the traditional values. You know what I mean? They're just like, I don't want to hear it. You're not my father. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, slow down. I'm not trying to be your father. But sometimes I want to say, but that's probably the problem. You do need a father. You know what I mean? Like, that might be, but you can't. But like you said, you can't rock the boat, right? So it's like, I digress. Okay. But then you might find a woman that might be like, you know what? I love the fact that you just take forth and you make ideas and decisions for us. You include me. You're fearless. Your experience. You have this. You have that. I'm going to follow you to the depths of the world. You know what I mean? So we have this.
Let me ask you, Viv.
What's up?
Let me ask you. Do you say if you met a guy and he wanted to take you out?
Yeah.
He practices no chivalry
Okay.
because he don't like titles. He's
I
like
see where this going.
he has exact same mindset as you. No disrespect to your mindset or the way you think. I'm not doing that. I'm just using an example. He don't hold the door open for you. He don't wait till you to be seated. He goes in an establishment and don't even like literally hold the door. How would that make you feel?
She in love.
Don't do it.
Really, Mo?
Set yourself up.
Because we're partners.
Don't do that.
He don't
All
pull
right.
your chair out. Nothing.
Just think about
He's
that.
not engaging.
Okay.
You would be like, yo, listen.
I'm gonna be honest.
You're gonna run to
You
that.
are absolutely right.
As soon as you get to the restaurant, you call one of your girlfriends and like, yo, this Joker is ghetto.
So listen, I agree. I'm beyond. It would turn me off. I don't need my car door open. I don't like that shit. But it would turn me off if he like, yeah, it would turn me off. And so listen, like I said, I am cool with, again, like it's a give and take is all I'm saying. Like I don't think a man holding a door for me means that he's my leader. Like that's all I'm saying. Like that's all I'm saying. I don't.
So you walking on the outside when you walking down the street.
Anyway, go ahead, Mo.
Yep.
What was your question, Mo?
No, I was gonna ask you, like, again, if it's too personal, you can tell me about my business.
Okay.
Like, what was like the dynamic of your parents growing up?
That's a good question.
He's a man's man.
Who?
He created that right there. Trust me. He handled business, Mo. No, he handled business.
I was like, who created what? So, I mean, yeah, I guess the dynamic was, I mean, traditional kind of, not traditional, but like Christian, right? I mean, that's where I first learned about submission would be through religion. So Christian household, Christian household. I think my dad was, although it wasn't talked about openly a lot, I think my dad was definitely, traditional values in the sense considered the head. My mom, during those younger years, like did most of the cooking. I mean, yeah, I think it was that way. Now, not for nothing though. And Daddy, if you're watching, I do love you. Like, don't get this twisted. Not for nothing though. I know that I think I struggled though with that, as I've struggled with this when I was a young girl. Like I struggled with not loving some of that. And I didn't understand. Couldn't put it into words at the time, but I felt away. I didn't know why I felt away, but I definitely felt away.
And what aspect of it?
It didn't sit right with me. It just was like, it just didn't quite sit right with me.
Viv, I don't want you to think the show is all about you. I mean,
I was about to say, I got some questions, so I want
to give it a different angle though when we get a chance.
But the funniest thing about your dynamic, my grandparents had the same dynamic, right? Mm-hmm. My grandmother got pregnant with my oldest uncle. Her father sent her from Georgia to Chicago when she got pregnant. My grandfather went and got her.
Okay.
Had 2 more kids in Chicago. They moved to New Jersey. So I say that because the dynamic in their household was when I started getting of age, my grandfather had retired, so my grandmother was still making the bread. Mm-hmm. Now he took care of the home. Mm-hmm. He worked with my uncle on some other stuff, but she was the major breadwinner. Mm-hmm. I believe that nowadays we've left tradition and became title people. And this is the issue that I think that we're having is the word leadership, submission. These words, it just don't feel right, so we can't do it. Mm-hmm. Or we rebel because it don't feel. I don't know no women that don't wait on their husband, sort of say, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. I don't know men that's married that don't make sure their family is protected and provided for. I just don't know that.
I hear you.
So let me throw this monkey wrench in there real quick, because let's just deal with the word leadership and let's put submission on the side for a second, right?
Okay.
So here's another analogy. I like analogies. I'm gonna use my own personal example. So I was married for 12 years. I'm divorced now. and I'm not going to speak bad about my ex-wife. I'm not going to do that, but it's a real situation that occurred that I witnessed in my marriage. In our struggle, right, for that submission, if you will, I watched her leave our home, go and follow the leadership of an employer that had no say so as far as how our relationship was ran, the children were raised, and I watched her subtly, maybe not necessarily cognizant, but subtly submit to the leadership of this individual and give me hell for my request for that. And I see that all the time. Certain individuals will leave their relationship, go outside the relationship, do their thing to make ends meet, won't question their leadership or, role in it, and then come home and have a whole grievance or disturbance about the man that they lay down with, created children with, built a home with, survived deaths in the family, all the things that go on around us. And we're still here, especially in our community. It really troubles me. We're still here and we're having these kind of conversations about it. And I just want to understand why. It just behooves me sometimes. I have to go out there and submit to the same people. And when I come home, I want a soft place to land. I don't want to be combatant, with my said spouse, partner, or whatever. Like, why are we even here?
Yeah.
Why? Just why are we here?
So again, it's kind of bad. I hear what you're saying, and I do believe, period, that your home should be a soft place for him and for her, right? It should be a soft place. Why isn't it a soft place if she doesn't submit?
Yeah,
that's all. Anybody have an answer for that for me?
Why?
You, Jay?
We can't agree. We can't agree on who. The fellas clearly on this panel think it's traditional and we're supported. The one non-fella we have is not okay with it, and that's a collective of women thinking nowadays. And I want to know where that
I believe, Viv, that
where does that come
that
from?
in some cases, and Jay, like Jay, I had a prior marriage as well, and I believe that one of the biggest issues nowadays is people turn their mate into their enemy, or vice versa, and forget that you guys are in a partnership together to build together and to grow together. This is why you always hear this dumb stuff. Well, what are you bringing to the table? That's the dumbest thing that anybody could ever say to me, because at the end of the day, whenever you have a relationship with somebody or friendship with somebody, you're supposed to nurture it. So it's going to grow together. You're going to grow together. So I think the problem is now, like I said, the issue is everybody wants to be defined by these type of titles. A lot of this stuff is innate nature. Well, it should have been innate. If you don't have certain innate nature with you, something's wrong.
So let me say something. So to Jay, to what you said. So let me flip it for a second. So in the same way, right? You talked about, both people working outside the home having to submit to, bosses in the system and leadership, right? And you wanting to come home and you kind of seeing as like, okay, having a woman who submits to me in a loving way, but who submits to me gives me a soft environment or giving me a soft place to land. So imagine though, flipping that and being the person who has to deal with it outside the home and then come home and deal with it again.
So that's what I did. I worked more overtime to relieve, because see, I'm the kind of man, like how Q said, I'm traditional in the sense where I'm going to hear your complaint and I'm going to try to have a vision to have a resolve. And here's where most men fall into the trap. If we work too much, we're not home.
Yeah.
And that's a complaint. And if we have you all going out to work just as much and tire yourselves out, that's a complaint. So it's like, who's going to lead in that instance, right? We have this partnership ideology now. So it's like, okay, partner, what's the fix? We're not from wealth. We don't have silver spoons in our mouths. Bills have to get paid. We have college tuition to pay off, right?
Yeah.
Like real examples. We have kids that need something. Some people have multiple children. And daycare is not cheap. All of these things, right? So it's like, what's the fix? Someone has to have enough something innate in them to say, hey, I see us through on the other side looking like this, but it's going to take us to do these steps to do it. Are you down? Are you with me? And if my mate is at a standstill because it sounds too much like being a slave, then it's like, damn, maybe we should have talked about that before we got married, right?
That's
like,
fair. That's fair.
Is the honeymoon phase, was it a blur? Like, what's going on? And that's what happens a lot. It goes unspoken, but you got a lot of people struggling in these relationships, just holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they're compromising a lot of themselves. And then a lot of women like yourself feel like they don't have a voice to speak. I get it.
Yeah.
Trust me, I had a lot of growing up to do. I get it.
Yeah. So let me ask y'all. So another issue that I have with submission, and I'm glad I have 3 beautiful men to talk to about this, is I don't, and I'm speaking a little bit more like, I mean, I guess biblically, but I never thought that it made sense to put that type of strain on one human being, if I'm being honest. Also, like, to me, it does not make sense with everything that people go through in this world emotionally, for me to look at a man and be like, your job is to take care of this household. You need to do what you need to do. If I'm gonna submit to you, but you got a huge responsibility, bro, and you need to take care of this household. I don't care how hard you need to work. You need to provide. You need to protect me. I genuinely don't see psychologically how that is fair or makes sense, because you, at the end of the day, just because you have a penis doesn't make you it doesn't absolve you from struggling in your own lives. So why is it expected that a man, I guess, doesn't struggle or keeps his struggles to himself so that he can hold up the family? That makes no sense to me. Just like I struggle as a human, men struggle as humans too. If he can't take care of his own life, why does he now have the burden of taking care of mine and some children? So I'm gonna put that out there to y'all, because that's a genuine concern of mine. It doesn't make sense to me emotionally to require
you
that.
brothers dive in on that, and I'll wait. I got some things I want to say, but I'll let you go ahead.
I mean, me personally, like I don't really believe in like gender specific roles in a household. Like,
Okay.
If you're my wife, like I'm not like expecting you to like do the dishes every day or do my laundry every day, or even like serving me food. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, I feel like certain roles can be shared in the home.
Yeah.
Like when people have those 50-50 debates, or I opt out of it because I think it's stupid. I think every household is different, and every household dynamic is different. Like some people put all their paychecks in a pot and just divvy up the bills. Others is like, no, like she works, but she keeps her money. I work, but my money goes towards everything. Then it's like, so what does her money go? Like, I try to stay away from those conversations. I go off of like, again, when I say like traditional, or like you go off of what you've seen in your own household. Like in my household, like, it wasn't like she holds her money or he holds her money. Like, my father worked, he and my mom the check, she divvy up both checks to what bills need to get paid. That everything is sustained. They have money of their own, on the side, whatever the case may be, for whatever. But like, it was never like one-sided in a sense.
Okay. But like, did you ever have you ever felt any pressure? Don't destroy relationships. Right on, Dwayne. Have you ever felt pressure though, growing up with this expectation that you have to, I feel like, kind of have stuff together so that you can lead your family? Do you ever feel pressure about that?
Viv, Mo, was you done, Mo?
Oh no, I was gonna answer your question, but if you want to take it, that's fine.
Oh, Viv, you striking nerves right now. It's not pressure to be a man.
Okay.
Man,
Right, I was gonna say
we
the
were
same
taught
thing.
we were taught at a very young age, you know, for lack of better words, how to hunt, kill, and provide.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna cry for you not living up to your expectations to be a man. If I call Jay, I call Mo, and I tell them I got problems, they're gonna sit there and listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna give me advice. Then the end they're gonna say, "Well, you know what to do. Man up." So it's not a point of being Viv a burden.
Mm-hmm.
Men move accordingly. Definitely men that have traditional values. Nobody want to hear that stuff. Yes,
the
we got
disclaimer.
feelings and
Those kind
emotions.
of men.
We're not saying we don't.
Mm-hmm.
However, if a man want to be in your life,
Mm-hmm.
he need to be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
He need to be in a situation where he's saying he want to take care of you.
Right.
That's how men look. That's how I believe us three are. Like, don't go. A lot of the stuff
No
that's
other
going
option
on now.
for men
It's
like
a lot.
that.
It's a lot of boys trying to get pleasure, which is okay if that's where you're at. You got to know where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you're a man, man up. Just do what men's supposed to do. Protect, provide. Don't nobody want to hear that. It's not a burden.
There's a qualification. Like just because you have a penis, doesn't make you a man. You know. So to Q's point, you have to qualify to be able to speak like that. Your actions have to match your words. You have to put some time in out in the field and come back and show and prove.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in an ideal situation, if a woman saw that transpiring, how could she deny that? Mm-hmm. How could she not be of service to a man like that? Mm-hmm. How can she be like, let me get out of your way, homeboy, because you're doing your thing. Let me know, are you hungry? Should I nourish your body? I'm going to feed the family. I'm going to take care of what I can take care of because you out there getting it done. Mm-hmm. Now, to your point, Viv, in today's world, yes, there's room for you to ride alongside me and get things done with me, but this should never be bent out of shape to think that, I have to take a back seat to an extent, and so you now could go do the things that I qualified to do, because women, though they're powerful, though they're intelligent, and though they are to be feared, there's just certain things that I believe that they can't do as men do. They're not created to do that. You know what I'm saying? You even look, again, to my biological analogy. If you look at the structure of a woman and a man, and we're built differently. You know what I mean? To take on more as men, women are softer, they're curvaceous, they have emotions, men are logical, they're practical, and they're, so just, and not to say women aren't and not at all.
Hey.
In the essence, I'm saying that's how you get women. So here again, more analogies because I listen, right? So Mo, you do bodybuilding, right?
Yeah.
So you got women out there that feel like they can compete with Mo. So they in the gym with him, they just as built. That's something they created themselves. That's not how they were created to be, though. I think they ventured along life somewhere and was like, I can do what Mo do. Who's to say I can't? I can be just as strong as power. So we get into, again, to Q's point, this competition with each other for no reason. Because you have some really good dudes out here that, like Mo said, from my household, I saw from an early age what I have to do. And I'm groomed to do it. I have no problem with that.
Hey,
I think that's pretty cool.
You know how you hear a lot of men say a particular man is a simp? Mm-hmm. That is, only men know what a simp is.
Okay.
Because we know when we see masculinity, we know what real masculinity looks like. We know when, like, for example, you could hear, and it's the biggest thing, a podcast. Mm-hmm. You could hear when a man is talking, whether he's saying some bull crap to try to cater to a panel for women. Mm-hmm. Men know it soon as he start talking, because you be like,
corny.
It's a lot of that going on right now.
It just don't go. And Viv,
to get
with with your analogy that you use, and I love the analogy that you use, the example, Viv, like the burden. Outside of financial, that is the reason why we got so many boys nowadays, because that burden that you said to them, some of them take it as a burden instead of a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You have a responsibility. As the man goes, the family goes. As the family goes, the community goes. As the community goes, the world goes. And trust me, the best example for that is in the Black community.
Okay. So, I mean, I think for me, it comes up. Y'all know I'm a therapist. So that's a soft point for me because I think a lot of things are, I know we get to the nature nurture conversation, right? That debate. I think a lot of things come from socialization. So I know we'll never be able to experiment in this way, but I always toy with what if we had a little boy, a little girl, you know what I mean? Like, where would the differences genuinely come out if we made everything even? So sometimes I do feel, I hear what you all are saying. I respect how you guys feel. On the flip side, I just feel sometimes that a lot of that mentality is from socialization and it's not necessarily innate. And it doesn't, and so yeah, I do feel that way because I feel like too often we teach our boys who grow into men that, like you said, Q, you got to man up. Like, what you can't, the complaints, you know what I'm saying, have to be put on the back burner. And I don't know, it just doesn't work for me.
See, it's the feelings and emotions can be there, but the complaints of manhood, the complaints of what makes a man masculine, what he was taught as a little boy, what a man is, whoever taught him it, you don't get to complain about that.
I hear you.
Like,
I know, maybe yeah.
Just like I told you, we could tell a simp from a mile away.
Yeah.
We can tell from a mile away what type of woman, if she's soft, she too masculine. Nah, I ain't dealing with that. It's a softness that y'all have. Like, some women exude femininity. Some women just do it, and it's like that with men. We know, like, nah.
Let's use that example with masculinity and femininity, and let's couple it with Viv's example of partnership. If we have a masculine man and a masculine woman in a relationship, what does that look like? We're partners. There's no again, loosely based on this analogy. Nobody is leading nobody. We don't agree about submission, but we will agree that we have both the temperament of a man.
Okay.
Just that alone is a disaster waiting to happen. Just like, I'm an analogy fanatic. I love
your analogies.
Oh no, we know.
I love it because it's in my writing. It takes away from. Sometimes we have to unlearn what we've learned and relearn things. Most of the time, that's all it is.
So I do agree.
We have a large group of people out here, women especially, that had to become masculine.
Yeah.
And still yearn to be in a relationship. And then maybe a masculine man, for whatever reason, is still attracted to them because they are women on the eyes. But then when they get close and they're like, oh, damn, she's more of a dude than I am. You know what I mean? Like, just how she carried this thing out. And then we are, right?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you on that. So I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to ask y'all's opinion. I mean, I have my thoughts on this, right? So let's talk for a second about, okay, let's say a woman is like, I want to submit to a man, right? What makes a man worthy of submission from y'all's perspective?
I mean, look at me. That's it.
Oh, all right now.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I love it.
Man's man.
No, honestly, in my opinion, right? It's what that woman deems is important.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of women or men dropping the ball, so to say, on a good person. I'm quite sure a lot of us have messed up some relationships along the way, and what should make a woman want to submit to this particular guy is he checks most of the boxes that she wants. Now, you have a lot of people, and I'm not just saying women, you have a lot of people that have lost the mark or the goal. But men know, like, for an example, right? And I'm not saying all men, but most men I know, they might look at certain things on IG, but they ain't taking stuff on IG home.
Okay.
They ain't. They don't. For example, most men don't like them Brazilian. They don't like men.
Hell no, that's trash.
Look and look, Viv. I know men will look at it.
Okay.
But
and
most
we'll get
men
into a
don't
whole
like
conversation
that.
with our lady over that.
They ain't thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people will be like, "Well, women get it done for men. Men ain't."
And that's not what y'all looking at. Yeah.
That's not what we're gonna take home.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
Jay, Mo, what y'all got for me? What makes a man worthy of submission?
What makes it worthy for a woman to submit to a man?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm all about the execution. So it's like, to Q's point, if that man is assertive without being commanding and dominant and abrasive, I think a woman, it's like the wild, right? My scent. If we're in the wild and you just know I'm in the presence, you like, I'm gonna go and procreate with him. I'm gonna go build it's some things that's just known and doesn't have to be explained. You know, I like the way he feels when he's near me, his presence, his attention to detail, his ability to adjust for my emotions, and I know he's not an emotional person. That it's leadership. It's the same thing I said. You have women who gear their minds around going out of their home and putting on a facade because there's an exchange of money that comes with being there. And just because in my home I don't put money in your hand, so to speak, I have to get walked over. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Same thing. The man is going out here putting on a facade, and he comes home and he's all soft with his boss. Yes, sir, this. Yes, sir, that. And then he comes home and he's like slapping his woman around. You know what
right. Yeah.
I get it. So it's like, first of all, to Mo's point and Q's point, the check boxes have to be, what do you want? Let you really define what you are going to have. Because we're always just kind of like looking and surveying and seeing what we like. So if we see something from afar, we get up close and it's still something we're interested in, and then that continues to grow and keep us interested, then hey, we're like, all right, what do you need then? Matter of fact, I don't even need to know. I'm a man. I know what you need. You know what I mean? Because I've grown with you. I've seen you. I've heard your cries. I've made a 180 and changed things that you've expressed to me that you did not like. That's also a man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not shunning you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So again, it's about what your checklist is. You have women out here choosing men that look like men just from then they get the so-called simps when they take the drapes off when they get home. So I'm saying? And then you got real men out here that can't get a date.
Yeah.
Because they're squares, or they actually go to work every day and they don't let their pants hang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they got values and morals.
They got values and morals, and they're not easily persuaded by coochie. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
what's up?
Even taking your question a step further outside of relationships, but even in friendships.
Okay.
If someone pours into you, you're going to naturally pour back. And if you're not going to pour back, you're going to push them away. For me, I try to be the pourer, and I'll pour, and then I see you pouring, I'll pour more.
Yeah.
And that's why to me, when you're selecting a quote unquote relationship, I don't think the vetting is real good, because I think a lot of times people, they don't vet properly, or they don't know what to look for.
Yeah,
that's a good point, Q.
You gotta nurture. You could have known, you and Jay, like prime example. this ain't the first time you and Jay talked since high school.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? Y'all poured into y'all friendship over the years, and it's grown. And this is a natural thing.
It's a
Mhm.
product
You know
of
how they
that,
say,
yeah.
I grew away from my boy. You grew away from your boy because you wasn't pouring into y'all friendship.
Right,
You ain't
right.
even send him a good morning text. Yo, bro, how you doing, man? Keep your head
Mhm.
up. I know things are tough. And I think that's what a lot of things we've gotten away from as definitely a community of
Mhm.
people, because we cared about the next man and woman's family. Yo, you everything good over there? Like, yo, you need,
Yeah.
bro, I know you just lost your job, but my job hiring. Come on, let's go. That
Yeah.
tradition and community type of, that's a way of submission too, because
It's a character thing. It branches
yeah,
out beyond the relationship with your lady.
Yeah.
If a real man has character, he has
Mhm.
poise, he has a foresight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's probably been through the fire and back again. He's probably been through hell with gasoline drawers on, and he still know how to hold it down, you know, in his present role. So
Yeah.
a woman, I think naturally in her right mind would be attracted to that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, because ain't no woman wanting to go through hell with gasoline drawers on.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just they're just
No,
not
that's
wanting to
fair.
do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all don't want to suffer as it is with certain
That's
things
fair.
y'all have to deal with. So a man, like Q said, he's like, I just take it on the nose, I keep going. Now that might also hurt us as men because we don't always talk about it.
Right.
I was just about to say that too.
Yeah, how that
I
makes
was gonna
us
say
feel.
that.
Now that's a whole nother portal into this conversation, because you got a lot of men that is just got the blinders on being men, but they also are suffering.
Yes. That was my
And
point. Go ahead, Mo.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Cause I was gonna say even like on the topic of submission.
Phase, right? With
I feel like even on the topic of like submission, like a man in a sense does have to submit to his woman. Like submission in the sense of like, all right, like I can be vulnerable. Like you can see me at my lowest. I should be able to, like, yo, like da 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 da. This happened to me, like blah blah blah, like, you know, and then to feel that, you know, as my woman, you're gonna protect that vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
Ain't nothing worse than being vulnerable to a woman and submitting to a woman, and then she just used that to hurt you. That just makes it. That makes a dude. That makes a dude go cold. Like you're not trusting nothing.
That's the deal breaker right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I mean, interestingly enough, because I asked that question because I think what sometimes is not talked about, you know, sometimes you have men who are just like, because you guys are different. We've had very intelligent conversations surrounding this, and I appreciate it. I've also, though, and I'm sure y'all have heard too, men who are just like, nah, like a woman needs to submit to a man. And it's like safety is a really important piece of that. And that goes to the vulnerability at the end of the day. Like safety has to be present. I heard a quote that said, you can't grow in survival and softness at the same time. And I mean, that she was talking more about women, right? Like you can't have me in a war zone and expect that I'm going to be this dainty, soft female. Like I can't be. And in the same thing, to Mo's point, you can't have a man in a war zone and expect that, because softness is part of y'all too. Like, and expect that he's going to be able to be vulnerable and be in touch with his emotions and heal and do all that stuff. So I think that safety is just important, period. Like both parties need to provide a sense of safety for each other.
Right, and that stuff like that should be vetted before you even jump into a relationship or marriage or whatever the case may be. If I can't trust you with my feelings, like us in a relationship is not gonna work.
And even to Mo's point, and I know Viv will probably doing a show on this one. For a lot of men, their vulnerability has been weaponized.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's good. I'm writing that down. We are going
to that's the worst.
Even in friendship too.
Yeah, so he's vulnerable where he may be able to share some trauma, childhood trauma, inadequacies that he may be going through, not being able to live up to the expectations that he put on himself, definitely financial, and he's vulnerable and he tells it. And then she throws it back in his face,
and it backfires. Yep, and that's from men who very rarely share their emotions anyway.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, damn, I'm definitely not gonna say shit. You know what I mean? So
I ain't say nothing.
I'm done. I'm a closed book.
It's a
Yeah.
The
wrap.
next woman I meet, I hope she's okay with me not saying nothing. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
where we are.
You never opened up like, no, I'm good.
It's gonna take it's gonna
Yeah.
take some good healing, because I'm telling you,
Mhm.
Q hit it on the nose. For us to finally, get beyond how we were wired as men, to finally trust and have it backfired against us
Yeah.
in the most just gruesome way possible, it's just
Mhm.
like, all right.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be honest about something with myself, right?
Mm.
And with
All
you
right.
guys. For me, and I'm not trying to say like I had this moment in my life, but I know what it was and I know what happened. I got to a point where because I was the closed down guy,
Mhm.
Mm,
but I got to a point where I got selfish about me.
mhm.
Okay.
And I don't say it to brag and pop my collar, nothing like that. But if I ain't right, I can't do nothing for you.
Mhm.
I'm at
And
that point right
I
now.
did that so much that I try to tell people that I come in contact with, definitely newer people, look, I'll pour, but I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna pour on me first too.
Yeah.
Because when I pour on you, if I don't see the same,
Mhm.
that's where the problem comes in at. And I have more healthier friendships definitely with women now. I didn't have quote unquote healthy friendships with women back at a
Okay.
certain time in my life
Mhm.
because I was distracted by other things.
Mhm.
But once I got to the point where I said, you know what, I got to get selfish. I got to worry about me. I got to
Yeah.
make sure I'm right. I got to make sure
Have
I'm
to.
happy where I'm at. Then I could be the friend. Then I could
Mhm.
be, you know, the good guy, and not
Yeah.
so much the public enemy number one.
Mhm.
You have to. You have to be of some resource and benefit to that who you're trying to vet and court with, and you can't be if you're a shell of yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or you've given so much, like you said, and you haven't received anything back.
Mhm.
And mostly men come to that fork in the road maybe after divorce, maybe after a long term relationship that
Yeah.
didn't work out.
Mhm.
Some self reflection, if you will,
Mhm.
that goes on.
Yeah.
And I think a woman that allows a man to do that, and then maybe even if they can maintain a friendship during that, and then it
Mhm.
grows into more, I think that's a lot of what we're saying. That
Yeah.
would be a great opportunity to really blossom and grow a relationship,
Mhm.
because you both saw each other's vulnerable sides and heard
Yep.
each other's requests and needs, and
Yeah.
still saw a need to be around each
Mhm.
other, and in each other's
I
life,
think it's
respectfully.
I think it's
Yeah.
and one of the person that commented, my brown girl from Boston, that's a very good friend of
Mhm.
mine,
Mhm.
professor at Tuskegee, right?
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
Um,
brown girl, what's up?
one of the things that me and her discuss a lot when we do a couple things together is, and I'm starting to realize, I think that most people, and I don't want to take away Viv from the topic,
Mhm.
I think that most people are trauma bonding together now. I think relationships are coming together on
That
the trauma
word.
bonding.
Hmm.
Well, most girl did say that there's not a vetting process going on, and men and women are just jumping in the bed too soon.
Yeah,
So
that's what she said. Drea
that's a
said.
form of trauma. That's a form of
Yeah,
trauma bonding for sure.
Mhm.
yeah.
You hurt, baby? Yeah, I hurt. You hurt too. Good. Let's go have sex. We'll feel better after.
Yeah. And Jay,
We'll feel better
that's even
afterwards.
if they admit
Let's
that
just
they're
keep it
hurt because
real. You know what
they'll
I mean?
act like they're
My hurt
healthy
and
the
your
whole
hurt
time.
together. Yeah, come on.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
and then with social media over sensualizing everything, sensationalizing, and just
Yeah.
bombarding us, it makes us feel like we have to compete with the times, and we
Mhm.
get away from tradition, and we get away from it. And let's just like not make everything traditional, but we just get away from common sense.
Mhm.
Right.
Common sense is what happened to just treating thy neighbor as you would treat yourself.
Right. Right. Right.
So if you, to Q's point, if you are learning to self-respect yourself, obviously you're going to be able to pour that back out into whoever.
Mhm.
And same thing, the opposite person should be respecting themselves enough to know, like, hey, I'm working on me as well. I'm learning by being your friend. I'm learning by,
Mhm.
understanding different things that I never understood before.
Yeah.
Um, and she said many people carry their baggage and trauma bond with another. Yeah, we move from one relationship to the next and dump our load,
Yeah.
and just drop our bags right at the door. And some women is just there hearing our problems and maybe not even dealing with her own.
Mm-hmm.
Now that weight is on her shoulder, and vice versa. Some men get the weight of the woman on their shoulder, and we got to juggle that.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I think sometimes I think you have to be. I think people they're just not being real with themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like I feel like there needs to be like a lot of like people should do like self evaluations, and you should be able to check yourself.
Yes.
You know, like I'm always self-aware of myself, and like I know, like you'll know when you've done something shitty to somebody. It shouldn't have to take somebody to tell you that you did that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like I think I'm aware of that, and I can, you know, I think another thing too is people lack accountability. Like I hold myself accountable. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll be quick to apologize. Like you know, my bad. You know what I did was wrong. Blah blah blah.
Right.
You know, I feel like people lack accountability as well.
Yeah. That's fair.
You know, so
absolutely.
Viv,
Yeah. What's up?
you got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I still don't like the word submission. I think I still don't get it. I don't think I ever will. I don't think that means I can't be a good partner, because I believe in a balance, right? But yeah, I think we need to throw the word submission out and find something different. I think Mo, were you talking about vulnerability, right? And you started talking about that. I mean, I think that's a better word. Vulnerability. Let's just have vulnerability in a relationship.
But we know going forward in your house, Viv, there's no head of the household. We share the household.
Everything's equal.
But wait, so listen. Okay, final word, real quick. So this is my thing though. Like everything, no, it doesn't. It's not about it needing everything need to be equal. Like when I take out the trash on Monday and you get Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I make the bed, and Thursday. No. Whatever natural flow we get in is fine. All I'm saying though is that I have a father. I have a daddy who's been with me the entire time. Thank God he's still on this earth. I don't need to marry my daddy. I might call him daddy, you know what I'm saying, in the bedroom, but I don't need to marry. I'm just saying, but I don't need to marry my father. Like I don't need to be led in that way. So that is all I'm saying. Like, it's not that I'm trying to break it down to like, oh, everything has to be equal and I can't. No, like I'm gonna cook. I'll cook for my boo. That's not a problem. And hopefully sometimes he might cook for me. But like, so that's all I'm saying. It's just when I say partnership, I just mean balance. Like I don't want to be boxed in to these certain roles.
The minute that he put that toilet paper under instead of over, you're gonna have a problem.
Right. Or the seat up and not down.
That okay.
Right.
That's my final thoughts. But go ahead, y'all.
Equal balance, then you should leave the toilet seat up for him.
Is he gonna put it down for me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's equal.
No, because you run the house.
Yeah. Oh, there's no leader in the house. We're roommates.
Whatever.
We're married roommates.
J Mo, you guys got any final thoughts?
Nah, cool topic. Nah, no final thoughts. Cool topic, Viv. I just hope that one day I'm gonna pray for you that God finds you that man that you want to submit to.
Not pray for me. Okay,
Yeah,
I appreciate the prayer. Don't get me wrong.
You may not see it as submission, but we'll all look at it like, damn, Viv submitted to that dude. I'm gonna be right there cheering you on, like, girl, I knew it. This was the one.
With that, I'm gonna close out. Appreciate everybody in the chat for watching us in our second inaugural episode, and for those newer to the other channel, the All or Nothing channel, remember, like, share, subscribe. That's the best way to support what we're doing, and we look forward to having this conversation every other Wednesday, hopefully. And I'll just say this, right? I'll spill the beans on Viv a little bit about something.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
We got enough topics to last till next year.
Yes.
So with that, everybody take care. Have a good night. Y'all stay on.